Hello there, this is Rom coming back at you with yet another car video. Money and possessions do not attract most women the way they used to for one main reason. And I'm not going to belabor the point. The main reason is they got money and possessions too. You know what? I'm going to tell you what. One of the things I think is sad out here is a lot of guys don't get it. They think, well, if I just have money, I just have money. Well, one, these guys ain't trying to make money. Two, even if they are, that's not attracting most women. And real quick, because I know some guys will probably say, well, which women are attracted by them? Poor-ass women, ratchet women, women living in the projects. Now, if you want those projects, trailer park, whatever, poor areas. And also, they attract acculturated prostitutes, or as the Honorable Pimp God would call them, acceptable hoes. Now, if that's what you want, okay, fine. But if you're trying to get a regular relationship, if you're trying to get a woman who is truly in cooperation with your operation, money and possessions ain't going to do it. For the simple fact, and this ain't speculation, it's fact, they got it too. You can't talk about, well, I got this nice house, when she got a house too. You can't talk about you driving this fancy car when she probably driving a better car. You know, I remember one time I was driving home from work. I always remember this. And it was 4 guys in this average car. And it was a woman right kind of in the next lane in front of them, though. She was driving a red convertible, fancy car. This guy from the back seat of the car waving at the woman. I'm like, dude, you shouldn't even waste your time. Because why would that woman even want somebody like him? Let me turn this a bit. Yeah, I always got to mess with this thing. Well, why would they want that? You got women got their own houses now. You can't hit them like, well, I got this house here. They don't care. I lost count of the number of women before the age of 30 who were telling me, oh, yeah, Ron, I'm putting my money down or I'm closing on my house. Shoot, I know one young lady before the age of 30, she had a house built from scratch. Shit. I know another lady like that, but she's older though. That's expected. But a young lady, and then some younger ones talking about they got this house somewhere, not their apartment somewhere, or not that they living with their parents or living with somebody. They got their own spot. So a man having that, why is that supposed to impress a woman? And as far as money, contrary to popular belief, a lot of women out here making more money than some men. Contrary to popular belief. Now, I said most. Yeah, you got some poor women out there and women who don't have much. And even on those prank videos where they show some woman going crazy over some man with a car. I mean, they fake, but come on now. The women are dressed like straight up ratchets. They straight up ratchets. Now, if you the type of dude who want to fuck with a ratchet, okay, fine. But I'm going to tell you something with ratchets. Yeah, you might buy them all this stuff, but they'll give Pookie, Ray Ray, Bubba, whatever the name is in the Hispanic community or whatever the name is in the Asian community. They'll give them whatever you give them. Yeah, they'll let you take them to a fancy restaurant, but then they'll get a big doggy bag and take that home to somebody else. But if you really want a woman, you gotta have more than that. Shoot, money in possession now is all about what a man doing for himself. He want a nice house, he getting it for himself. He want to make that money, he's doing it for himself. But trying to impress women with it, most women ain't going to do it because these women out here making their money. They got their own place. They driving their cars. Like, I'm just coming from the gym. And incidentally, let me say something real quick. If y'all see me dressed like this and I'm coming from a certain background, I'm coming from the gym. Some dude trying to mess with me because of the shirt I was wearing. I was lifting, motherfucker. Anyway, Oh, I don't forget anything. And trust me, I got some petty in me. I got some petty in me. Anyway, I'll be looking at the parking lot of my gym. This ain't even like probably one of the top gyms in the area as far as people spending money. But they be having like BMWs, Mercedes, nice old cars. I'm driving this like modest car. I ain't gonna tell you what it is. I ain't gonna make it easy for you to spot me. But some people who know me, they know I drive a modest car. I don't mind. Cause trust me, if I had a more fancier car, I wouldn't drive it. I wouldn't drive it that much. It'd be like that Sunday car. But I digress. But these women, they got their own cars, so you can't impress them with that. They probably making more money than a lot of guys out here. You can't impress them with that. And even some guys saying, well, I'm making so much money. Shoot, you got some women making six figures out here. The only type of guy they might deal with is a guy making six figures. In fact, I dealt with this one woman, and even making six figures, she was still making a bit more. They don't, man. That don't even. I'm telling you now, that shit don't impress them. Or what you doing for a living, that don't even impress them anymore. I'm gonna tell you what. Since women have their own money, they have their own possessions, they're actually freer to deal with the men they want to deal with. Indeed, you got a lot of women out here, they not only making more money than the men they're getting with, shoot, they either living with the man or they marrying a man. There's plenty of dudes out here who are on they either on some homosexual shit or they ain't the main money maker in their house. That's a big thing. And indeed, shoot, if we get more into the diesel world, the sex work world, you got some women out here, they don't mind paying for a gigolo. They don't mind paying that male exotic dancer. They don't mind going on that sex vacation. Like, it's kind of funny because guys be acting like these passport bros are something new. Man, I was hearing about women going on those sex vacations back in the 80s. That's when I first heard about it. Please, they doing their thing. They got their money. So they ain't pressed about a man's money. And really hasn't been for a long time. But see, you still got some guys thinking, well, if I just had some money. Okay, how about all these guys out here who got money and still having trouble? In fact, I remember one of the last conversations I had with, may he rest in peace, Kevin Samuels. He was talking about these guys making high 5 figures, 6 figures, still having trouble with women. That's because that don't really move women like it used to. How's it going to move a woman that you got money when she probably got more money? In fact, one game that some women are running out here, they might act like they don't have as much money. Like I knew this woman, she was an attorney. And she never brought it up. She was an attorney, had her own house. She ain't bring it up. But she ain't mind just dealing with a guy who's just going to deal with her straight up. See, they don't care. If they got their own money, what your money mean to them? What your money mean to them? Only exception might be if they like legitimately poor and they looking for a come up, or they legitimate acceptable hoes. Seriously. Damn. Okay. Anyway, otherwise they ain't tripping. They ain't tripping over it. They are not tripping over whatever money you got. And if you tell them, you can tell them you got a house too, and they be like, well, yeah, I got my house right here. Seriously. I mean, and I'm not exaggerating when I say I've lost count of the number of women before the age of 30 who told me they would put money down on a house, got a house. Like I said, knew one, she had a house built from scratch. She had a house built from scratch, and I knew her really throughout most of her 20s. She had a house built from scratch. Shoot, now she be traveling and stuff. And shoot, you be getting some of these women, they be traveling, doing their thing. You can't hit them with the money thing anymore. They like whatever. They got that money. You can't hit them with the possessions thing anymore. What you got? Like, you got some guys thinking they impressing some woman with a car when she got a better car. Shoot, I knew this woman, shoot. She wasn't impressed with what this guy had because she had a Mercedes. One of those, like, serious Mercedes. And bought new. Not a used car, a new Mercedes. She was like, whatever. Women, you can't hit women with that like you used to. Most women. Now, like I said, if you want to mess with one of those poor women or something like that, hey, have at it. But if you mess with one of them, well, I'll put it like this. Don't be surprised she's using you for money. Don't be surprised when you have to go to the doctor and they got to stick something in your penis hole because your shit been burning or something. Don't be surprised. I'm just saying. And plus, if you on that level, well, you probably don't need to be following me anyway. Shoot. I mean, I know plenty of guys, they dealing with women, the women making them more money. That's why I've said several times, shoot, you don't really need money to get women. They got their own money. They got their own place. Only thing they don't have is that stiff dick and some companionship. And shit, some of them, they'll pay, like I said, they'll go on that sex vacation, or they'll pay that gigolo or that stripper if they need it bad enough. Or that serious maintenance man, or they'll consciously deal with that homosexual. Shit, they'll make sure they get that. Or as the master teacher BGS would call them, get a CompuServe. They don't give a fuck. Because they got their own money, they got their own possessions. And see, but you still get some men now, they thinking, well, I got this money, I got this house, I got this job. How come I'm having trouble with these women? Because they don't give a fuck about none of that. They don't give a flying fuck about none of that. Because they got it too. Shoot. I mean, a lot of the shit I'm telling y'all, I've gotten from those women. Because let me be clear on something. Let me be clear. A lot of the game I'm giving from y'all is because women gave it to me. And I'm telling y'all some stuff either to succeed with women or not to get played. Because I'm hearing it from the women themselves. Most of them got their own shit. Shoot, some of them, and you do get a few of them, they'll let you spend your money while they hold on to theirs. And if you can let's put it like this. You will be lucky if you find an attractive woman who ain't on some ratchet shit, who's impressed with your money. But you got to be careful with that. You got to be careful. Usually the type of women that might be safe with is a woman who's just really creative. A really creative woman. But those are few and far between. And when I say creative, like she's an artist, she's a writer, she's a singer, something. And she want to focus on that. Now, if you look up and find one of those, well, even then, a lot of times they get with creative men. And a lot of times you might have to double back home one day. Because sometimes those are the ones that cheat the most. I know a woman now, I ain't gonna call the dude's name, but he the one told me that she cheated on him before they got married. And I think she cheated on him again while they were married. But she's more on that creative side. So even with them, you gotta watch out and be careful who you dealing with. Seriously, you gotta think about that. And the only women you're going to impress, because you still got some women out here, they're on some get a pussy for free thing, or well, get a pussy for some money shit. They some renegade prostitutes. And renegade just mean they just don't have a pimp. They doing some stuff. They some acculturated prostitutes, or rather acceptable hoes. Once again, shout out the Honorable Pimp God. But is that the woman you want to mess with? Because let's be real. Y'all want that woman who, she ain't all tatted up. Y'all know y'all want that. Y'all want that woman who's clean cut, that woman you can take home to your mama, that woman who might have a low count. And notice I said might have a low count. That's a whole other conversation. But I want y'all to seriously think about this. Seriously think about that. A woman who really got something going on, she probably don't need you. And especially you got the women, they told from the time they little girls now, hey, get yours. Don't depend on a man. Sometimes their fathers be telling them that. So they meet you trying to wave some money, they like, well, shit. They waving the money too. In fact, they might be more financially literate than you. They telling you about different financial plans you can get into. They telling you about their stock. And I actually met some women like that. One woman, she needed some extra money. She said, oh, let me go sell my stock. I'm like, oh, shit. Shoot. These women got money. The ones who are about something, most of them got money. So you can't impress them talking about, oh, I got money, or I got this big old house when they got a bigger house. You know, you talking about you renting an apartment and say, yeah, I got this nice apartment and stuff. They say, well, I own this house right here. All that shit don't impress them. Now, saying all that means is you can't use money or possessions to get these women. You got to use what's inside of you. That's when you got to have some game. You got to have that conversation. You got to be able to click with them. You got to be able to click with them. You got to hit them at their heart, hit them at their brain, really their heart. You got to be able to deal with them on that level. You got to be able to deal with them. You got to be able to talk with them. And you got to give them the impression you're going to fuck their brains out. Because that's why you got some guys out here, they getting these women, they ain't spending any money. Now, see, I've said that several times. I always get challenged, and I always know, okay, these guys don't really understand what's up with these women out here. And I don't know, I thought about that because, you know, I get some people hit me up privately, and they say, well, I got this, and this. Okay, well, what about your personality? Because that's what women looking at now. Like I said, they already got a house. They already got a house. And just to be clear, all of them weren't black women, because sometimes somebody come on here and say, well, yeah, those are just black. No, these are most of them that I know got their own house before the age of 20, putting something down with white women. White women. All right? So a man ain't hitting them with that way, so they feel free. Because one of the things that it used to be, if we go back to the 50s, 60s, 50s and before that, 60s and before that, a woman had to deal with a man who was just showing enough interest in her to take care of her. Shoot, I was reading women couldn't even get their own credit cards before the 70s. It's just like, man. I didn't even realize that. I was a young kid in the 70s, didn't care either way. But they couldn't get their own credit cards. They had to do it. They weren't going to school. Shoot. Now you got, if you look at, and this is with all racial groups, there's more women in some of these colleges than men. Let me say that again. More women than men getting these college degrees, doing some stuff. Shoot. They doing some stuff. What they need that man for? In fact, one of the complaints women have is just finding somebody who has a college degree as well. And some of them, you know what they say? They say, you know what? Let me just do my thing anyway. Let me just get this guy who look good to him turn him on and look like he got a stiff dick. Shit. You got these women out here that getting these big jobs. You got these women out. There's a whole lot of women that own some businesses. Let me say that again. Own some businesses. Like out of my 1,000 jobs, I've worked for a bit for a few women who had their own businesses. I was getting the payments from them. Sure. A man wasn't going to impress them just on his money. Shoot, a man just working a 9 to 5 wouldn't impress them. Just a 9 to 5. Now, if he got all that and even got the possessions, you know, they'll be somewhat cool. Coming soon. Oh, another coffee place coming soon. Okay. That's one thing. Just for my Money Matters crowd, people drinking coffee like crazy. But let me shout out Cousin T-Tall. He said the 3 things that will always make money: sex, drugs, and, come on, caffeine. Caffeine, coffee is a drug. You know, sugar is a drug. And guns to protect those operations. They will always make money. That was for my Money Matters crew. The few people who listen to that. In fact, I had actually started that channel because so many guys were saying, oh, we need money, we need money. Okay, I'm telling you how to make money, motherfucker. And that's still my least visited channel. But I digress. Yeah. But yeah, these women nowadays, shoot, they got their own shit. They got their own money. They got their own possessions. Shoot. In fact, I've talked to a lot of women. Remember, I said maybe 1/3 of my consultation clients are women. And they tell me straight up how much they making. 6 figures, or they doing something, they got a fly-ass job. Shoot. A guy can't come up to him thinking he gonna get him with the job. They ain't impressed. How some woman making 6 figures on some job gonna be impressed with some guy working fries at a McDonald's? That ain't gonna impress her. Now, if he turning her on sexually and he got good conversation, that will get her. And here's something else very powerful. If he ain't tripping over what she doing. And that could be something in itself. Because you get some men out here, they want to feel like a man should be in control. And I can understand that. Because I talk about sovereignty. Oh man, it's about to be a serious accident here. About to be a serious accident. Dude tripping. Or lady tripping. I don't know. But, you know, that's why I be looking ahead. Some people, you know what, I had some Bama say, oh, how come you'll be looking into the camera? Because I'm driving, motherfucker. Dumbass motherfucker. Shit. Think. But, yeah. These women out here got their money already. They don't need a man for that. They don't need a man for possessions. They got a house, car, all that stuff. Shoot. They got stocks. They got all that stuff. They don't have a warm dick, though. And those are the ones who just want it. Because some women, they'll just get that dildo and say, fuck it. Or like I said, they'll pay for that gigolo. Or that male stripper, give him a little bit extra. Oh, shit. But here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. Don't think, if you got money, you got possessions, okay, good. And unless you want to just deal with some ghetto-ass woman or some trailer park-ass woman, it don't really matter to them. seriously, it really don't matter. If you want to connect with a woman, it's more than ever, and it's going to get that way more and more every day. Every day, you gotta be able to connect with the woman personality wise, and she has to be turned on by you sexually. It's no other ways around it. All right. You can argue about it. You can be pissed, but this ain't the 50s no more. This is the 2020s. Shoot, well, a few months we'll be closer to 2030. Women got their own shit. They don't need all that shit from a man, but they still need companionship. They still need a hot one over them. They still need to be in a man's presence. I want y'all to think about that. Seriously, think about that. Dudes thinking it's just money, please. Unless you're dealing with acceptable hoes or some poor ass women, which, if you're a man who's about to do something, you shouldn't want to do with either one. If you want to deal with either one, this ain't the place for you. Okay. This is a place for men who trying to do something with their lives and trying to get the right woman who's going to be in cooperation with their operation. All right. So anyway, that's all I have for today, and I'll get back with y'all. Peace and blessings.